And welcome back to another extension of math. Amy is counting the pencils at the school store by fives. She has counted 45 so far. What are the next 6 numbers that Amy will say? So she started with 5 because she's counting by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. And it wants to know the next 6 numbers. And remember, we're counting by fives. Down here, I drew some pictures, which you can do the same. I drew 5 circles, and I put little commas next to them to separate them. We have a visitor. All right, sorry about that. The rabbit was really excited about the paper. So I drew these pictures of 5 circles for you, which you can do yourself as well. That way you can count them. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. See? So that is a strategy that you can use in order to count by fives easier. All right, let's keep talking about skip counting. You can skip count by other numbers too. You can skip count both forwards and backwards. This pattern shows skip counting forwards by tens. The 10 digit, which will be highlighted, will change each time. Let's write the missing numbers. So I highlighted the 10 digit, which are going to be the last 2 digits. And the last 2 digits are going up by 10 each time. So it's 130, 140, 150. There you go. This pattern shows skip counting backwards by hundreds. The hundreds digit changes each time. I highlighted all of the digits because this 3rd digit is the hundreds digit, so that's the number that's changing, and we're going backwards. 7, 6, 5, and we're putting the hundreds on there with the zeros. So 700, 600, 500. What are the next 3 numbers? How did you know? We're going to continue skip counting and learning about skip counting. So what do we know about skip counting? Let's fill in the boxes with what we do know. So I drew a picture of the box in my own words. So tell me what you think skip counting is. There's not really a wrong answer because we just want to know what you think. What do you think skip counting is? My illustrations. So draw some pictures that would help you skip count by fives. Remember earlier I drew that picture of the circles and groups of fives? You can go back and use that as an example if you need to. Some examples. Show me some skip counting by twos examples. Non-examples. Show me some ways that you would not skip count. Complete the chart for me. Carmen is trying to skip count by fives. She counts 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55. What did Carmen do wrong? Is she skip counting by fives? What answer did you get? Let's keep pushing forwards. Remy is counting the notebooks at the school store by tens. He has counted 120 so far. What are the next 5 numbers Remy says? Check your answer and show your work. So, he has counted to 120 so far. What are the next 5 numbers? He's counting by tens. So I went ahead and I counted all the way up to 120 for you so that you can see what it looks like. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, Complete the numbers. Which answer did you get? Let's move forwards with the skip counting. Lewis is skip counting by tens. He starts at 235. What are the next 6 numbers that Lewis writes? 235. And here, I drew some pictures of groups of 10, since he is counting by tens. You can do the same. Try drawing pictures or using counting tools. You can use anything. Change, Legos, toys, pencils, pieces of candy. You can even tear pieces of paper into little tiny chunks and use those. Anything can be a tool for math if you want to make it into one. Let's explore some more skip counting methods. You can use an open number line. Here is an example of an open number line, which you can also find in your math sheets. We're going to use it to skip count by tens from 235. So here, we're going to start at 235 and skip count by tens each time. 235, 245, 255, 265, 275, 285, and 295. There's also something we can use called a number chart. Count 10 numbers to the right of 235. When you reach the end of a row, go to the next row. Circle the number you stop counting at. Continue skip counting 5 more times. So it asked us to circle or highlight 235, which I did. Count 10 numbers to the right of 235. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 245. And then we can skip count 5 more times. So remember, it told us that when you get to the end of one of these, like if we got to 260, we would start on the first number of the row directly below it. And these charts look a little bit intimidating, but actually they're very, very helpful. So I'm just going to let that sit on that for a second so you can see it, and then we'll move forwards. You're doing an awesome job. Let's keep pressing forwards. Look back at the models that I showed you to complete the equations below. 235 plus 10 equals what? 245 plus 10 equals what? 255 plus 10 equals what? 265 plus 10 equals what? Which digits stayed the same? Which digits changed? Write the missing numbers to skip count from 235 by fives. 235, 240, 245, 250. Which 3 numbers did you get? Write the missing numbers to skip count by hundreds. 335, 435, 535. Which 3 numbers did you get? Which way do you prefer to skip count? Let us know. All right, let's use what we've learned to solve the next problems. Complete the forward and backward skip counting patterns. A. 821, 831, 841. I made the first number on the next one for you. It's going to be 8. Which numbers did you get on A? Now it's time for B. 349, 449, 549. Which three numbers come next? Now for C. 920, 915, 910. Does it seem like the numbers on C might be getting smaller? Which are the three next numbers that you got? Now for D. 783, 773, 743. Does it seem like these numbers might also be getting smaller? Fill in and tell me which four numbers you got. Sadie says when she starts skip counting forwards by tens from 590, both the tens digits and the hundreds digits change. Is Sadie correct? Why? So we are skip counting forwards by tens. So 590. Which two numbers come after 590? By figuring those out, we can check our work and see if Sadie is correct. Which answer did you get? Why do you think Sadie is correct? We're almost finished. Which numbers go into the squares on this number line? We have blank, 265, 270, blank, 280, 285, 290, 295, blank. And it has these answers for you to choose from. And what we need you to do is select one. Like if you select A, 255, you're going to put A in this empty square. And the same for the other two. So choose which of these numbers you think are going to go in these blank spots and insert your answer there. Were you able to complete the number line? Which numbers did you get? You're doing so awesome, and we only have 2 pages left, so I know we can do it. Let's start with an example. Skip count by tens from 128. What are the next 7 numbers? You can use a number line to count by tens. Start at 128. Count by tens. So we have our number line right here. And we're adding 10 each time. 128 plus 10 equals 138. Plus 10 equals 148. Plus 10 equals 158. See how we're doing this? We're adding 10 to get to our next number. The number line makes this much easier. The next 7 numbers after 128 are 138, 148, 158, 168, 178, 188, and finally 198. Let's skip count by 5s from 140 to decide what the next 5 numbers are. So let's start at 140. And remember, before 140 would come 135. So 135, 140. Great. What are the next 5 numbers that you got? Use an open number line to solve. So we can use an open number line for this. So 140 would be here. And then we're skip counting by 5. So 140 plus 5 equals what? And that's how you can solve by using an open number line. Jamal uses this number chart to skip count by tens. Shade in the next 3 numbers. So Jamal started at 63, 73, 73, 83. What do you think the next three numbers are going to be if we're counting by tens from 63? Next, we are going to complete the skip counting patterns. 460, 560, 660. What similarities do you see? Which three numbers do you think are going to come next? Next, 310, 305, 300. What do you think the next three numbers are going to be? Does each group of numbers show skip counting by fives, either forwards or backwards? So here it shows you some numbers: 105, 110, 115, 120, 125, 130. Do you think this skip counts by fives, either forwards or backwards? Yes or no? 355, 365, 375, 385, 395, 405. Does this count forwards or backwards by fives? Yes or no? 915, 925, 935, 945, 955, 965. Remember though, just because something has a lot of fives in it doesn't necessarily mean you're counting by fives. So do you think this one is counting by fives? Yes or no? And lastly, 285, 280, 275, 270, 265, 260. Do you think this is counting forwards or backwards by fives? Yes or no?